Supply chain headwinds, and this is something I wanted to touch on briefly on the show today. We hear a lot about it, and it has to do with what's going on, obviously, in the Middle East with the war, Israel and Hamas, and what's happening in that area. We've seen the Houthi rebels, a terrorist organization out of Yemen, go into the Red Sea and stop vessels from transporting goods to places like Europe and other places around the world. And if that were to continue, we're going to have, or the world is going to have a more difficult time getting goods on time, getting the supply of goods that we need to keep inflation down, of course, but to offer to individuals. We're already hearing companies like Tesla say that they've had to slow down production or even stop production on some days out of their factory in Germany because of the slowing down of the supply chains. We have a great chart, or not even a chart, it's actually a picture of this right now. And you can see here where the issue is. You can see there the Suez Canal. You can see the blue line represents what vessels are having to do right now to get through and get to Europe. The much easier route would be to go through the Red Sea, through the Straits of Hormuz, Suez Canal, and into the Mediterranean in Europe. And, much quicker. I've been told that it could take as much as 2 more weeks to go around the Cape of Good Hope, which is Africa, and go all the way around the other side. So for me, it's all about supply. And can we get the supply of goods to where it needs to be? We saw during COVID, that was a huge problem. One of the main reasons, as I've said on many shows, why we saw the rate of inflation tick higher, because we had the demand, but there just wasn't enough supply to meet the demand. And so the hope is that with the United States and allies of the United States, whether it's the British, whether it's the Canadian, us here in Canada, or any other countries, that they're going to clamp down on what's going on in the Red Sea. We've already heard that the United States has had many strikes on the Houthi rebels to try and get them to stop with these raids on these vessels. But of course, these rebels, this terrorist organization, continues to say that they will continue to attack these ships of Israeli ships or U.S. Ships that are bound for Israel or the United States or England, anywhere in Europe. They're going to continue to attack. So I don't think that these supply chain disruptions are affecting us as yet. But if things were to escalate, if the war in the Middle East right now were to escalate to other areas, if this were to be more of a regional, a larger regional war, then definitely you could see supply chain issues start to pop up. So something to keep an eye on going forward. But for now, the hope is that between the United States and their allies, that they will clamp down on this terrorist organization and keep them from attacking these vessels and keeping these vessels from reaching their final destination.